Hey, welcome back guys. We had an amazing weekend last weekend featuring 3 Spring Fests, I think 2 from Europe and 1 from North America. So today we're going to be talking about Newark, Hungary and Puerto Rico and what topped in each of their respective formats. Again, shout out to Fuzzy Paradox. Make sure you go follow him on Twitter, link in the description, and yeah, let's get into it. So Newark standard, top 8, we have 4 Magnolia, 4 Prison, and pretty much a pretty clean cut of like every other deck as well. And obviously Kari being released recently in Lyrical Set 2, we immediately see an impact with Kari in the metagame, showing, 2 tops in the top 8, which is great. And then we have 2 Flagberg, which is a rise in some of the other BSFs where we only had 1 in a few events here and there. But yeah, good to see Flagberg doing things and, impacting the meta. And then we have 2 Bruce, 1 Nirvana, and 1 Bastion. So this is pretty clean cut. I think this is a really good representation of how standard is. Very diverse. A lot of decks having an impact in the meta. And, we don't see any decks that is, super overpowering. So going into the top 4, so the Senate coming first place with Kyrie, Gravidia, and Magnolia. Second place was Blackthorn with Flagberg, Barrow-Magnus, and Prison. Third place, Mid Plus with Prison, Kyrie, and Magnolia. And then fourth was Teriyaki with Magnolia, Barrow, and Prison. I think if we look at this, it's very favored to Prison. Well, not favored. I think the correct word is more, there's a lot of popularity towards Prison. And then obviously, Kari first, just came out, hitting first place and third place. That's a pretty big deal. And I think a lot of people also might not have had the time to verse Kari. So, Kari being able to take those seeds first and third, congratulations. Amazing stuff. And then I think we also had V Premium in the same day. Not too sure on that, but anyways, Newark V Premium, 6 Bermuda Triangle. This is massive. And then 5 Dark Irregulars, which is something we didn't see in the past few BSFs. Dark Irregulars wasn't really there, and to see 5 in the top 8 cut is pretty bizarre. And a huge chunk goes to Gold Paladin, which were all Gurgits, and then 2 Grand Blue Narukami Aqua Force, 1 OVS in Jewel Knight, Raging Form, and Gaia. So from this, we all expect Prison to be super amazing. 6 out of the 8 teams brought it. There's nothing more to be said there. But the really surprising factor is the 5 Dark Irregulars, which we definitely didn't see in any of the other V Premium distributions. So taking a look at the top 4. So I'm gonna botch this name real bad. Pito Sinj Bebe, I think. With Prism, Gurgit, and Shaharat Amon. So yeah, that's one thing I also didn't mention, is that Shaharat Amon seems to be like the mixture that people opted to go for, which is really, really interesting because the 2nd place team, 3rd place team, and 4th place team all had a Dark Irregulars too. So 2nd place, D10 with Amon Shaharat, Night Rose, and Prism. 3rd place was Shahara Amon, Prism, Gurgit, and then that was Best Buds Club, and then Team Imaizumi with Shahara Amon, Prism, and Night Rose. Now, whether or not they found something, spicy, I'm not too sure, but I did test a lot of Amon Shaharat, and it was pretty good. So I guess one thing we'll do is kind of look at the deck, and Frad, I think he was one of the people who is affiliated with the BRO champion, if I'm not mistaken. So as in the description, Anthony and Pierre-Luc, Mr. BRO 2021 NA champion. So this was the first place Shahara Amon list, opting to run 3 Shaharat, 3 Amon, and I think that's pretty good because you have 6 decent ride targets, and then all your others is like rearguard support. So you still have your 4 number Terror, your 2 Hope on Damps, your 1 grade 3 that essentially becomes an extra copy of any card in your soul, and then opting to run the Fu and the Ron Ginlin engine. It's pretty crazy. Like, I give so much respect for the grade 2 and the grade 1 coming out in the Mon set. Those cards were just absolutely insane support. And to just see this deck operate and, you know, take first place is freaking awesome, because I'm also a Dark Regulus fan, so congratulations. Second place, oh no, sorry, the other team members was Gurgit. Pretty simple, 4 Max Slash, which is pretty interesting. Maxing out on Max Slash for ultimate push. And then Prism is Prism. Opting to run Prism Ange with the Pearl Sister engine. This isn't similar to Solemnthus, or maybe it's very similar, except without the Betties and not playing the Highlander package. But yeah, pretty cool. Really good to see Amon Shaharat taking all 4 top 4 slots, which is pretty insane. So congratulations to everyone who topped. And then obviously Newark Premium, this is where it gets spicy, alright? So 4 Pale Moon, 3 Genesis, 3 Shadows, 2 Grand Blue, 2 Aqua, 2 Nubatama, one of them being Shunui, and 1 Hanzo, 1 DP, 1 Mega, 1 Link Joker, 1 Spike Brothers, and 1 Neonectar. Whew, Neonectar is, yeah, a bit crazy. Let's put it that way. Definitely didn't expect to see that. And Neonectar coming first place in Team Go Next with Thavas, Neonectar, and Nightmare Doll. Second place Alchemy with DP, Eradicators, and Rising Greedon. Third place Phantom Star with Beatrice, Vanquisher, and Fortuna. And then fourth place was Tomatoes or Tomatoes with Nightmare Doll, Raging Form, and Order Colony. Now the 2 decks that really pop out here is definitely the Neonectar in first place, and then the Fortuna in third place. So we'll take a look at the deck for Fortuna. So I'm not too sure what the game plan for this deck is, other than the fact that you can generate force while you guard, which is pretty cool. Well, on your opponent's turn, so to say. And then I guess you abuse it with like Yggdrasil, and then obviously Amaruta, maxing Amaruta. Like a full V engine, splash in a bunch of like Keta stuff as well. And then yeah, you pretty much have a deck, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, so congratulations to this Fortuna player. And then Neonectar. Now, I want to make it very clear that this is a deck that you could probably work off as the base of your deck, but you cannot take this as, you know, a deck that will perform well. Only because apparently this particular player didn't have a great run throughout the whole tournament, but only won the ones that really mattered. Obviously, this, you know, Neonectar has been pretty much that one clan that has been completely outcasted since the ban of Katrina. So being able to see a deck like this, you'll be able to craft your base of the deck. But, you know, if you're comparing this deck to something like Nightmare Doll, something established, then it's not as established at all. And the power level is probably not going to be on the, like, scale of like Raging Form or, you know, your Vanquishers or anything like that. So this is a good skeleton to work off and to start, but I wouldn't, I guess, go forward and say that this deck is like, you know, tier 2, tier 1. It's still work in progress, so to say. But yeah, like, it's a great deck to be able to kind of work off from there. But this deck is pretty interesting. Running a bunch of Honolys, and then cards that come back from the drop zone. And then I guess they loop Cecilia Reverse to re-ride off a stride. I think that's kind of how it works. I'm not too sure. But otherwise, yeah, like a bunch of like, I think that's, oh, that's new Kaivan, isn't it? Yeah, new Kaivan or new Augusto. Yeah, and then like old Vera, is it? Or new Vera, the one that can trigger while on rearguard or something. So yeah, pretty interesting deck. Definitely a starting point for all you amazing Neonectar players, and, you know, the people who got really sad that Katrina got banned a couple years ago. But yeah, you know, this is the place where you start, and it only goes up from here. So yeah. And then we jump to Hungary. So top 4 standard, 3 Prison, 3 Gravia, 2 Nirvana, 1 Magnolia, 1 Barrow, 1 Kari, 1 Eugene. Again, Kari first recently coming out, still doing the work that it does. immediate impact. But pretty amazing to only see one Magnolia here. And then obviously the one Eugene. I'm not too sure if I had the Eugene list, but anyhow. So the top 4 was Lucky with Gravidia, Prison, and Barrow. Second place with Team Ventura, Cochino Gorillas with Nirvana, Gravidia, and Magnolia. Third place was Dresden with Prison, Nirvana, and Kari. Fourth place was Kanzengard with Gravidia, Eugene, and Seraph. So if I watched Kai's video, the Eugene ran like the maiden package where you can like rest 3 to like give your front row pretty much pseudo persona ride, which is pretty cool because it lifts Eugene's power level. And I mean, like the units that you rest, it doesn't really push that high anyways. So yeah, running that maiden package is like pretty cool too. So then we jump to V Premium. 3 Bermudas, 2 Grand Blue, 2 Golds, 1 Genesis, 1 Shadow, 1 Naru, 1 Mura, 1 Dimension Police. The Dimension Police was running Original Saver 0, which is pretty cool. I forgot to get the list, but yeah, Original Saver 0, pretty amazing. And then Original Saver 0 coming first place, Shiny Cardboard Addiction, finishing it up with Original Saver 0 Brad Black, Prism, and Vanquisher. No Horny Bonk Squad. I think this was Reverse Aces team with Gurgit, Night Rose, and Prism. Royal Straight Flush, third place with Gurgit, Yasui, and Astropod. And then Brexit Copium. This is Hal and Kaylin's team with Prism, Luard, and Night Rose. Nothing more to say that other than the DP. I think that was a pretty big shock. Like there's really a lot of spicy decks that came out of this weekend, so congratulations to the 0 player. Alright, so this is the Original Saver 0 list, running obviously Brad Black, and then yeah, a lot of the pretty much just the Zeal package, which is pretty cool. I think capitalizing off the draws on the grade 2, just negging power, and then 0 for defensive options. Pretty interesting list. I'm not too sure what the thought process would have been into a meta like this, but yeah, really, really cool deck to, I guess, top. And yeah, and then we jump to Premium. 4 Pale Moon, 2 Order Colony, 2 Genesis, 1 Beatrice, 1 Raging Form, 1 Highlander, and 1 Dungaree. Now, this is the perfect, well, not perfect, but optimal premium distribution that you'd expect. Every team bringing a Pale Moon, you know, you have a choice of bringing Water Colony, you have a choice of bringing Grand Blue and Genesis. They're great decks. You also have the Highlander decks. There's like, you know, other suitable picks, but the main pick that you would always want to have is Pale Moon. So this is definitely something that we definitely expect. So Brexit Copium, house team again, coming first place with Highlander, Order Colony, and Nightmare Doll. No Horny Bonk Squad, Reverse Aces team again with Beatrice, Regalia, and Nightmare Doll. Shiny Cardboard Addiction with Order Colony, Dungaree, and Nightmare Doll. And then Royal Straight Flush with Raging Form, Regalia, and Nightmare Doll. And then jumping to Puerto Rico. So Puerto Rico, I think the regional was pretty small. So obviously more concentration, and then obviously more localized, so to say, but I'll make comments on that later. So top 4 standard for Magnolia, each team having a Magnolia. This is definitely something I would expect. 2 Prison, 2 Kari, 1 Gravidia, 1 Barrow, 1 Bastion, 1 Nirvana. Again, Kari just introduced, having an immediate impact. Great to see it. So top 4 cut. First place, we don't have any team names here, but Kari, Gravidia, and Magnolia first place. Bastion, Prison, and Magnolia second place. Third place was Prison, Kari, and Magnolia. Fourth place was Magnolia, Barrow, and Nirvana. Yeah, that's what I expect. Each team having a Magnolia, because Magnolia is just overall a good deck. I think if you start to put Magnolia in a singles format, then it might struggle. But Magnolia overall just caters more towards, you know, the tier 2 decks or the tier 1.5 decks really, really well. So yeah, this is definitely what I expect. And if we're going into V Premium, this is spicy. All right. So 2 Genesis, 2 Pale Moon, 1 Grand Blue, 1 Gold, 1 Naru, 1 Shadow, 1 Royal, 1 Aqua, 1 Link Joker, 1 Nubatama. Not a single Prism deck. Okay, so my comments on this is that because Puerto Rico is such a concentrated or a small regional, sometimes those regionals become very localized. So what I mean by localized is a lot of people from the local area would be participating in these events, right? And those people are most comfortable with the decks that, you know, they're comfortable with. So they would bring stuff like Pale Moon, they'd be bringing stuff like Hanzo and Astropulse and, you know, not very super meta defining decks. So yeah, like when you're looking at this particular pie chart, you gotta say to yourself, all right, this is a smaller regional, which, you know, not a lot of people go to. It's very localized. So, you know, localized people will start to use, you know, the spice that they do, like against their local players, so that, you know, that's kind of how they play. And obviously in team formats, it also breaks up the, you know, diversity as well, because, you know, you can't just play 3 Prisms, you have to play 3 different decks. And then if you're playing 3 localized players, you know, one person might profession in, you know, Pale Moon, one person might profession in Genesis, and then one person professions in Nubatama. Then that creates, you know, the team, so to say, for this particular regional or this format. And then obviously, you know, if you have, you know, smaller amount of teams, then, you know, you see more of these random decks amongst, you know, 8 teams than you see at something bigger regional like Newark, where, you know, you have 50, 60 teams, you know, all these other teams, you know, are playing meta defining decks. Whereas, you know, this becomes very localized. It's very similar to back when Perth had a regional back in 2017. You see very odd decks just, you know, popping up and, you know, dealing some damage because you have such a concentrated, localized group of people who just play the decks that they want to play instead of, you know, the meta defining stuff. But yeah, congratulations to everyone here. And then Puerto Rico V Premium top 4. First place, Astropulse, Messiah, and Thavas. Second place was Jewel Knights, Vanquisher, and Lukia. Third place was Hanzo, Night Rose, and another Lukia. And then fourth place was Astropulse, Raging Form, and Gurgit. So this is, holy crap, like, Lukia? Really? Wow. My god, like, I give so much respect to these 2 Pale Moon players. I am in love with this deck. It's great. Obviously, it's not catered to my competitive benchmark, but yeah, it's just great to see this deck, you know, dealing damage. So it's great. So congratulations to them. First, that was the first Lukia list, and then this is the second one. So the first one didn't run original Lukia, opting to run Max Venus and then 3 Dorian and only 1 reverse, and then I guess compromising those grade 3 slots for more grade 2s and more grade 1s, whereas this list decided to run more grade 3s as beat sticks than, you know, running all the 2s and 1s. I guess the more benefits that this deck has is that you start to run into a lot of Excel decks, and if you know what the meta play, well, the local meta plays, then opting to run more Excel defining cards or cards that go up against Excel, it might just be better. So yeah, 2 vastly different decks, but I think they all run fronts or rainbows, I think. This deck running Heal Guards and this one running 20k crits. Pretty cool, so congratulations to all those players. And then obviously going to Premium, 3 Grand Blue, 2 Golds, 2 Pale Moon, one of them being Silver Thorn, freaking crazy, 1 Narukami, 1 Luard, 1 Gear Chronicle, and 1 Nova. So I'm not too sure what to say other than the 1 Lukia, that's the outlier. Gear Chronicle also kind of an outlier, and then obviously Victor being an outlier too, because we don't have the Sazanda promo yet. So yeah, the top 4 teams. So first place was Beatrice, Victor, and Gurgit. Second place was Vanquisher, Beatrice, and Shadow Paladin. I'm guessing it's Ward. Third place was Beatrice, Overlord, and Nightmare Doll. And then fourth place was Gears, Lukier, and Gurgit. Pretty interesting. We definitely want to see the Gears deck very time leap oriented, as well as running, you know, the V package with Tigar, Ribu, still being able to, you know, ride up, go into, you know, your Time Reaper Dragon, and yeah, just doing all the good stuff. I think this deck gets better with the premium collection, I think, with the Steam Maiden stuff, and then definitely we'll see a huge upgrade when we get the Steam Maiden stuff from V Clan Collection. And then jumping into this amazing deck, all right, Lukier in Premium, Silverthorn in Premium, and I found out why this card was good after kind of just sitting and reading its effect. So this card's use is very similar to Abigail in Nightmare Doll. So it serves as a countercharger while also getting, you know, your grade 3s back into hand to be able to create multiple excels, as well as, you know, having access to your dust. And then on your dust turn, you can also go into Breathing Dragon. And if you have your Breathing Dragons, you also have access to Zelma, which is the purple Trapezes clone for Silverthorn, to be able to, you know, output just as many attacks as, you know, a Nightmare Doll deck can. So absolutely amazing deck. Like, I have nothing else to say. Much respect for this player. Absolutely amazing. Cool, that's pretty much it for this weekend. I think we have a break weekend before the next lot of BSF, and I know the next lot is huge. I think we have like 5 events around the world. We have Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, and then we have Bilbao in Spain, and then I think we have Houston. So 5 major events across the world. So definitely gonna be sitting here. It's gonna be a long video next one for this meta analysis. But yeah, appreciate it, you guys. Thanks for coming through. If you guys find this content interesting, like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know if there's anything that I could probably improve on, and all that jazz. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.